internet in some ways is quite centralized, which means that in times of protest or civil unrest, it can be easily controlled. Governments can block certain services like access to websites or apps, or they can even shut off the internet entirely. That's exactly what's going on in Iran at the moment. Last week, an Iranian woman died after being arrested by the notorious morality police there for incorrectly wearing her hijab. Protests have since broken out, with masses demonstrating, chanting, cutting off their hair, and burning headscarves in the street. The government has partially shut down the internet as a result of the protest, and they have also blocked access to the secure and private messaging app Signal. But while there are aspects of the internet that are centralized, there are often ways we can route around it. In this video, we'll teach you how to help Iranians route around the blocking of Signal by setting up a proxy Signal server for them to connect to. Let's first explain what a proxy Signal server is. Basically, to block Signal, the government has targeted the IP addresses of Signal's servers so that Iranians can't connect to them directly. But Signal community members like you and I can put up our own servers that haven't been blocked and set them up so that all traffic to them passes directly on to actual Signal servers. This bypasses the blockade set up by the government and allows Iranians to continue to use the Signal private messaging app. Connecting to a proxy server is currently only available with the Signal app on Android, but this can still make a huge difference. It allows many Iranians to communicate privately and securely during a hostile situation. So here's how to set up your own Signal proxy server. It's not complicated, it just involves steps that you might not be at all familiar with. So let's go through them slowly. First, set up your server. You can host a server yourself, which is basically just a computer that other people can connect to, but it's very common and much easier to instead rent a space on a machine from a server hosting provider. We're going to use a platform called DigitalOcean. They're a cloud infrastructure provider, and they allow you to create something called a virtual private cloud or a virtual private server. This is a Linux machine that they run, and you get to use part of it as your server. Create an account on DigitalOcean and verify the account. Then click on Create Droplet. A droplet is their fun term for one of these virtual private clouds from which you'll run your proxy. I selected Ubuntu, which will be the operating system of my server, Basic, regular CPU, and I chose the least expensive option because what we'll be running is super lightweight. An inexpensive and tiny virtual private server or cloud can easily handle hundreds of Signal users at the same time. This smaller and less expensive option was only available in certain data center regions, so I just went with the first option. Now you're going to generate an SSH key for this server. SSH, or secure shell keys, are essentially an authentication method that will allow you to log in remotely from your computer to manage your virtual private cloud. SSH keys come in pairs, a private key and a public key. You'll need to generate your own SSH key pair on whichever computer you'd like to be able to use to access this remote system. Click New SSH Key. An instruction page will pop up on the right. Follow the instructions and open up your terminal app. Terminal is basically where you can issue directions directly to your computer through text without going through a graphical interface. Keep in mind, if you're not used to using terminal, you should be really careful what you type in. If you're on a trusted website like DigitalOcean or Signal, you can feel safe copying and pasting in their instructions. But if you're on some random website or help site, be super cautious. There are nasty people out there who will paste instructions that will wipe your entire machine. So if you don't understand the commands that you're typing in, make sure you at least really trust the source you're getting the commands from. In Terminal, copy the first command. Then you'll be asked where you'd like to save your key pair. I just went with the default location Terminal suggested, directly in my user folder. You'll be prompted to enter a passphrase to secure your SSH keys. You can also leave it empty, but I recommend setting up a passphrase that you'll save in your password manager for added security. Your keys will now be generated. Your private key is in a file called ID_RSA, and your public key is in a file called ID_RSA.pub, and both are stored in the location you chose. If you type in cat and this code, you're basically asking the terminal to spit out the information in that ID_RSA.pub file. So in this case, it will display your public key in the terminal. Copy that public key and paste it into the left side on your DigitalOcean page where it says SSH key content. Click Add SSH Key. You can add multiple SSH keys for whichever computers you want to be able to manage this remote server. We're just going to add the key for our current computer, which we just generated, so we'll select that one. Choose a hostname for your server that will help you identify it. And then create your droplet. Once it's created, click on the droplet, and you'll see something that says IPv4 and a number. That's the IP address of your server. Now you're going to remote access your new virtual server. You can either go through your terminal, in which case the SSH key you just added will verify that you're allowed to remote access from that computer, or you can actually use the console inside the DigitalOcean website. Click Console. Now we're going to copy the commands provided on the Signal website for setting up our proxy. Type in these commands to install Docker, Docker Compose, and Git. These are tools that you'll use to download the software Signal provides you. When you install software, there are two things that are needed. One is the software itself, and the other is the system requirements. Docker allows you to create a system environment that's compatible with the software you're about to download. Git allows you to download the code from wherever it's stored, which is usually GitHub. Next, clone the Signal TLS proxy repository by entering the following command. This copies the software from Signal's GitHub account. Now you'll enter the repo directory. You're now in the directory you just downloaded. You'll run the helper script that configures and provisions a TLS certificate from Let's Encrypt. Let's Encrypt is a non-profit certificate authority that provides TLS certificates to websites. Basically, what you're doing is setting up SSL, which is transport layer encryption, on your server. Now, before we go any further, we need to take a quick detour to buy a domain and point that domain to the IP address of the virtual server we just created. Go to the web registrar of your choice, buy a domain, then go to the DNS records of that domain. Add a new record, and the record type is going to be an A record. For host, you can usually type in the @ symbol as shorthand for the actual domain name. Now copy the IP address that DigitalOcean gave us for our new server. Save that and add a second record. It's another A record. This time, under host, you're going to type in www. Then, under points to, type in your IP address and save out. You might have the option of selecting TTL, which stands for time to live. I selected the lowest possible so that my records update faster. You can go to a website like dnschecker.org, type in your domain, and see when your DNS records have been updated across the world. Once you start to see some ticks on this map, you can continue with the next step in your DigitalOcean console. So you've just typed in the helper script to set up your TLS certificate. Now, when you're prompted, enter the domain name that is pointing to your new virtual server's IP address. If you get an error, your DNS records might just need more time to update. Once that succeeds, the final step is to use Docker Compose to launch your proxy server by typing in the following command. Now your Signal proxy is up and running. I checked that my proxy was working by going into the Signal app on an Android device and connecting to the proxy. To do this, I clicked Data and Storage, then Use Proxy, and I type in my proxy server using the following format: https://signal.tube/# yourdomain.com. If a green shield icon appears at the top, you've successfully connected to the proxy server. Now it's time to spread the word about your proxy server and share your address with those who need it. Here's an important note. When you publicly post a signal.tube link, or if a particular server becomes too popular, it increases the chance that Iranian censors will add your server IP to their block list. So Signal is encouraging everyone to use the hashtag #IranASignalProxy so that people can reach out to you if they want to connect, and you can share the address privately. If anyone in Iran would like to connect to my proxy server, you can see the link right here in the video. The people of Iran deserve privacy, just like everyone else does. If you want to set up your own proxy server, it's a great way to help give people back more freedom.